problems don't start off as problems. They're usually the solution to an underlying problem, just what you're just saying.
Yeah.
But they're always a solution. And that's why uh, people, when they see a problem, they want to address it as a problem when it was your solution. And if you can change the frame, say, hey, your solution is no longer a solution. Let's think about it different because now it's causing other problems
Yeah.
because you're not addressing some of the underlying problems.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is
Yeah.
we often don't recognize that we are trying to escape. When we develop coping mechanisms, it happens in a very subconscious way. It's not something that we're like consciously saying, I'm going to go cope with my life right now and I'm going to do it this way, right? We're not consciously thinking about it, but that's really what we're doing. And a lot of times we develop coping mechanisms, and sometimes they're super unhealthy, that we beat ourselves up for the coping mechanism. And my experience that I've shared a few times with on the podcast, but I struggled with a television addiction for years. And it was the way that I viewed it was just I had no self control. And it was, I would go into these periods of time where I would binge shows like 19 seasons of a show that had 22 episodes per season, right? And it was like back to back to back, staying up well late into the night, waking up late, starting as soon as I got up in the
That,
morning. Like it was just super, and it was damaging to my life because I wasn't getting anything done. I was ignoring things and responsibilities because and it was compulsive. Like I couldn't control it. And so I went to like 12-step programs. I kept trying all these things to overcome this television addiction. And I finally had a therapist one day that asked me what need I was trying to fill. And I was so caught off guard by that. I was like, what are you talking about? This is an addiction. Like it's a bad habit. I don't have any self-control. And she said, there's a need you're trying to fill with this. And it reframed the way that I thought about it. And I think that that's the same thing when we're, especially people that are struggling with alcohol. Yes, there is a chemical dependency component that can develop, when somebody drinks a lot of alcohol, but most often they're starting with a reason. And,
yeah,
coping mechanisms are developed for a reason. And when we don't address the underlying reason for the coping mechanism, we can either struggle forever with that coping mechanism or we can transfer it to other coping mechanisms. Maybe we overcome that one, but it transfers to another addiction, right? We keep transferring it to other coping mechanisms because we haven't addressed the underlying issue.
yeah, that even and somebody else, I heard this from somebody else, is that the problems don't start off as problems. They're usually the solution to an underlying problem, just what you're just saying.
Yeah.
But they're always a solution, and that's why uh, people, when they see a problem, they want to address it as a problem when it was your solution. And if you can change the frame, say, hey, your solution is no longer a solution. Let's think about it different because now it's causing other problems
Yeah.
because you're not addressing some of the underlying problems. But yeah, even running, I think that for me, it was when I was trying to qualify for Boston, I was neglecting a lot of other things that it wasn't becoming healthy. My relationship was hurting. At some points, even my nutrition, because I was wanting to get to a certain weight because I thought, oh, maybe that will give me the edge, just being a little bit lighter. And I was willing to sacrifice my own health to get to that thing. So realizing and being self-aware that what you're doing kind of defeats the overall long-term benefits that you're trying to get. So yeah, I think that uh, reframing it, like you said, why are you resorting? What are you trying to solve? And are you getting to the very bottom of what you're trying to run away from?
Yeah. So when you
Mm,
when you coach
yeah,
people with in this holistic way, What does that look like? That was something that intrigued me about your approach to training people is not just about the physical aspect of it, right? What are the things how do you approach that with people to help them be more holistic in the way that they approach exercise and integrating it into their life?
It takes just a lot of curiosity and start to question. Okay, you want to enjoy running. Why did you pick running? Why is that important? Just getting to the bottom of it, and it usually takes a long time because a lot of time, like you said before, we're not even aware that we're trying to escape something. So sometimes it would take just keep asking questions about reasons for their behavior, reasons for why is it important, or why does this feel good, why doesn't that feel good, and usually you'll get the more you get to know a client better and better, and they're more open to other feelings that they're coming up with, you'll usually get to the bottom of like, oh, okay. And now we start to really do exercise that are going to address that that bottom line issue that they have. And now they can take it to the run and start doing spiritual exercises or mindful exercise to address the very thing that they're trying to solve. Most people come with their own solutions to their problem, but it's usually somewhere where like you're going to take it to the gratitude practice and incorporate some of the things that you are trying to solve. Some of them are like the forgiveness. The forgiveness attitude for me did quite a bit of things that I wasn't aware because I was just trying to follow Dr. Bernard Beckwith's exercise of thinking of people that who are you angry at can usually go because a lot of times we're angry at ourselves for some things that we did. So that it gets to the bottom of like, where are you feeling the shame? Where are you feeling the anger? Why are you feeling angry at that person? And if you can get to that forgiveness, okay, can you forgive yourself for whatever something you did or did not do? Can you forgive this other person? But through those exercise, you can usually get to the bottom of what's really going on internally. I think that's where our what is that one book I haven't I've only read clips of it, but the body keeps a score.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know. That's a hard book to read because there's
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
means that
trauma in it.
yeah, but it's the
Yep.
same principle. I think that getting to the bottom of your emotions, where why are you feeling the way you feel, and why are you having the desires that you have desires for?
And how do you help people incorporate mindfulness practices into their running? You talked a little bit earlier about like having conscientious things that you're going to think about and work on as you run. Is that what you do, or are there other ways that you help them incorporate mindfulness practices in their running?
Yeah, well, those are the two ones, but yeah, mindfulness could be at one point just what your body's doing, and the other one is just what your body's feeling, and the other one is visualization is also part of mindfulness. Like where are you envisioning? What are you moving towards you? What are you running away from? Um, and yeah, that ability to direct your mind, I think that's the beginning of it. The beginning is just learning to direct your mind where you might have gone a run and you let your mind go everywhere. But a lot of times when you get into long distance and you start to get tired, especially like on a race, people who get tired, that negative thoughts can also be just as powerful than
Yeah.
the positive thoughts. And then now you feel discentered and now you want to give up because your mind is also going in very negative direction.
Yeah.
So just being mindful and going out with the intention, just like people approach meditation, same thing with the run. Hey, I'm going to go with this intention to solve a problem, or I'm going to go with the intention of just having a really good time and listening to my body.